So now we're in California with Idlewild Rosé, and it is definitely a deeper rosé. It's Dolcetto, Barbera, and another Northern Italian grape that escapes me. Let me just look real quick. Nebbiolo. So something fun about Idlewild is Sam and his wife are friends with Evan Lewandowski. So if you like Lewandowski's wines like Faints and Cuvée Zero and all that, they work, I believe, with a lot of the same fruit because they're both very obsessed with using Italian varietals. So you'll see some similarities, I would say, between their wines, but their winemaking style is definitely different. And I'll just pause for a moment to say, I know that in natural wine, the whole goal is to be like, it's not about style. The wine's supposed to do whatever it wants, which is true. But ultimately, for it to not just turn into vinegar, there are steps that have to be made along the way, and obviously different blending styles, and honestly just personal preference. Like it's never going to completely go away. It's just nice to, not be truly manipulating it with like chemicals and stuff. So that's my note on that. They use a lot of the same fruit, but like again, like the amount of time they're going to let it sit on the skins for a rosé is just going to change. It's a decision you have to make as a winemaker. So I would say this one's definitely more extracted than like the Cuvée Zero, and I would say that it's certainly like it's still glue. Oh, let's just not get ahead of ourselves. So color, I would say it's very like salmon. I don't know how long he had extraction on each of those grapes, and he's also blending them together. And like Nebbiolo is normally like very light, so between those three. There's no telling exactly what the perfect match could be of those. So on the nose, the first thing I get, it's interesting because it looks darker, but then I'm getting like lighter rosé notes on the nose initially, at least. Things like cranberry, strawberry, raspberry, and then like there's certainly like cherry there too. I would even say like a very like light version of plum. And there's also an herbal quality to it. I don't know exactly what it is. It might be like basil, but you'll be able to tell when you're trying it yourself. There's something there. Is it thyme? Is it basil? I don't know, but it's not just fruit happening here. So let's try it and see if we can discern some more. Lovely mouthfeel. That's another, another choice that the winemaker does have is that do you let it have lees contact or do you take out the lees? So the lees make the wine creamy. This wine certainly has that creaminess to it. Nothing crazy or overwhelming, but certainly very different than like the lean styles of rosé that I think most people are used to. I think that it goes really well with this style of grape because some of those are very intense red wines. So it's nice to have some lees in there to balance out. Like honestly, in the red wine, like it would be balancing out like the harsh tannin qualities of it, but obviously there's not a lot of tannin going on here, especially since you have it chilled as well. And then some of those, let me just get the fruit back. So now it's like starting with the heavier fruit for me. It's like cherry first, and then as it like continues on, I'm like, oh, like that's a nice hint of cranberry. And honestly, the watermelon's almost fully gone for me. I'm sure it's in there. Y'all will probably find it too, but what was once the first thing that I was smelling is not what I'm actually getting. And again, sometimes it's totally false from what you smell to what you taste. Other times it's exactly as it is in the same order. Other times it smells like something and then you try it and the order is like the things are the same, but the order is different. So again, all of it is up to you, or well, not to you. Whatever you think is probably right because it's all based on personal experience and what you already know and are trained on. Even if you've never done wine training in your life, you've eaten certain things and that has certain like impressions on you that is going to ultimately end up in the way that you perceive a wine. So no one can tell you you're wrong. Just another PSA for that. And then on the pairing side, it's funny because it's got a round mouth feel, but it's honestly like really light in structure. Like we've put some, and we've put some in other months and this month, other rosés that really carry like pack more of like a weight to them. And that's not where this one is. So it's actually more interesting to think about what to put it with. I was talking about putting halloumi and watermelon with another rosé, and I would say this one also too. I'm also just obsessed with halloumi and watermelon in the summer, and if you've never tried it, oh my gosh, you gotta try it. It's so good, especially if you're vegetarian. It's perfect. And then, yeah, I think maybe just kind of continuing down like that whole like Greek Mediterranean thing. You're not going to go wrong with that here. Like meze platters where you have hummus or baba ganoush or like couscous or like an orzo cold pasta by the beach. Yes, I'm in Cape Cod right now. I would love that. Yeah, that's really where my mind's going with this. I would put it, I mean, you could, of course, well, I guess the orzo on the grill would be warm, but I was about to say, I love the idea of this with cold foods, like even cold cuts, maybe, and like some cheese sticks on the beach. I don't know, chips. Yeah, all of that works here. I wouldn't go super complex or complicated with it, even though it's a wine that has a lot going on. But it's not. I think you should still be enjoying it fresh and fun. And I think that's just ultimately leading me to say put it with some like yummy, like cold pastas, potato salad, all that stuff. So hope you enjoy it. I think it's a really interesting version of what you can do with Northern Italian grapes in the US and in the rosé style. So I hope you've learned something new from it, and definitely try the rest of their stuff because their portfolio is bomb. So enjoy.